everyone, it's Rita with Everything Homemade, and we are going to transplant celery. So take a look at these beautiful celery plants, and they definitely need to come out. You can see they're not like crazy squished, but they definitely need their space. Now I will remind you that I'm also an author, and at the end of this video you'll see all the books that I have written. All the books are available on Amazon, so check them out. So I also have my helper here. This is Nova, and we're going to show you how easy it is to transplant these. Celery are hardy, so you can really mess with the roots and they won't go into shock. So celery is a really good plant to teach your children how to transplant, because they really, unless they rip every single root off, they really can't do much wrong with it. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to have a container. So we have a container here. We're about 5 inches in depth. And so what Nova is going to do here is we have a bowl of potting soil. It's moist, and she's going to take her hands and just fill this container up. Awesome. So we're going to leave it like that, because when we start transplanting, you'll see that we actually have to move a little bit of dirt away, then put the plant in. So we need to leave a little bit where we're not actually spilling the potting soil. So this looks really good. So we're just going to set this aside. Now we're going to move this over, and we are going to grab our plants. Now, with these particular plants, I find it a little bit difficult to stick your spoon or something here and separate like this. Remember, I did say that celery does not go into shock easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tip my container over here, and I'm going to just press on it on each side, just like this. Okay, then, and you are going to make a little bit of a mess, that's okay. Then we're just going to basically, I'm going to loosen my plants out of here. Now this can be a little bit tricky, but just kind of keep working at it. There it comes. Okay, now you can see that I've left the dirt dry, and I did that for a reason. If you have your dirt super wet, what happens is that if this comes out, it's just going to break apart and break the roots even more because of the weight of the dirt or soil here. So now I have it looking like this. It's held together, and so you can really see now that you can see the plants, can't you? A whole lot better. Hey, Nova?
Yes.
It's a lot clearer. So what I'm going to do is we're going to team this. I'm going to do some separating here, and you're going to do the planting. Okay, Nova?
Yep.
So I'm going to teach you how to separate these first. So what I'm going to do is just work with a lot of my 2 thumbs here. I have an opening here, and I'm going to just take them, and I'm going to just kind of rip apart this ball of celery and put it into some smaller areas. Now I'm going to do it slowly. I'm kind of working with the roots and pulling them apart. So you see this here, you got some roots still intact. I'm not ripping at them, I'm just untangling them, and you can see that right there. So I'm going to take this larger piece, I'm just going to set it aside. And I'm actually still connected right here. So there we go. So I'm going to set that aside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with this one here. Okay, so I have my plants here. Now I transplant the strongest ones first. So for example, this one here is a little bit smaller than these ones here. These ones got a really nice root. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate this guy, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just gently loosen them. Okay, so now we have one here that is separated. And you can see its beautiful roots here. So this is the one that Nova is going to transplant. So now Nova, you have your container here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do the first ones because it's been a while since we transplanted celery, okay? And then you can follow through here after. So what I'm going to do is take the back of my spoon here and I'm going to make a little hole. Now I'm going to get fairly close to the side here and I'm going to go all the way down and make a hole like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my plant here and I'm going to wiggle those roots down with my fingers just like that. Now Nova, can you just keep angling this up so it's a little easier for them to see? And then what I'm going to do is, if you can see this, you see that the brand new leaves come from the bottom right here. So you don't want to go any further than where these false leaves come. Otherwise you're going to bury where these little new leaves come and stalks come. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just hold this plant here in place and I'm going to press the dirt down and then I'm going to move the dirt a little bit more and really press it down. Like I'm really pressing it down because you want all those roots that you just disturbed to really get secured in the dirt. Then when you're done, your plant definitely is in good shape. So just like that, then I take my my thumb and my index finger and I just work around it just like that, and voila, you got the very first one transplanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 across here, okay? So I'm going to do 1 here, I'm going to do 1 here, and then I'm going to do 1 pretty close here, Nova. You see that?
Yeah.
We can get them fairly close because they're such slow growers. So we're doing probably about, I would say, 1 inch apart in this container. So now it's your turn, okay?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to separate another grouping here, and I'm just going to show you once more. And again, I kind of shake with one hand and hold this one steady, and look at that, the root comes. Now you'll see a little celery here. It's pretty young. I'm going to discard it. There's another one hanging right here. So I am actually just going to gently plop that one, and we got another plant here. So this one has some awesome roots. Take a look at those. Aren't they great? And you're going to transplant that one in. And you're making that hole right to that bottom, okay?
The bottom? Like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah, and so it can be a little bit bigger than that. There you go. So gently put those roots down. Beautiful. And you did it. Look at that. So you see how it flops over like that? So that means you need more dirt over here. So let's just bring a little bit more dirt, give it a little bit of support, just like that, and just press it down a little harder, and they will stand up just beautifully. Okay, so now if you need to, turn your container over a little bit, and let's get one in the corner. So start making a hole there, Nova.
Okay.
And as you separate more out of your container, it'll get easier. So I have another beautiful one here. Perfect. Yeah, you got your hole size just right.
Like that?
Yeah, and then we'll just pat the dirt around down on this row here, and we're done the very first row. So what we're going to do is literally continue doing this for all of these and for the rest of these ones right here. into our containers, and we're going to start about right here and keep working. Don't worry if they are perfectly straight rows. Basically, you're looking for an inch from the one that you just transplanted, and keep on going. So I will show you the end result once we get there. Okay, Nova, so we are done, aren't we?
Yes.
And take a look at these beauties. Look at them. They're all standing up. They are packed really firmly. And even with, you know, having the roots exposed, they're not drooping. They're looking really good. And like I said again, they're really hardy. So you did an awesome job there, Nova. Absolutely awesome job.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next big step that we need to do is give it some go-go juice, right? And what's the go-go juice?
Water.
Water, that's right. So what we're gonna do is just gently give these a really good watering. And I am going over top and moving the dirt, settling the dirt around them. If I see a plant that maybe is drooping after this, I will press it down a little further, but you definitely wanna give them a really good watering. And then get them underneath the grow lights. Now, if you don't have grow lights and you only have a sunny window, I would just put this on my counter just using indirect light for the first 24 hours. It just helps the plant settle, because sometimes what happens is if you put them in a really hot sunny window, they'll go into shock. If you have, like in my basement, I have my grow lights where it's not a really hot room, but the grow lights don't cause shock as much as hot sun does. There's a difference. So if you have them in a really sunny window, put them in indirect light just for the day. Introduce them to the sun in the morning and see how they do. If they end up flopping a little bit, take them out of the sun, just give them a couple of days and put them back. Otherwise they'll do just fine. So what I'm doing here is just pressing them down once more and just making sure that everything is perfect, because that's what Mom does, right, Nova?
Yep.
And I can say you did a fantastic job, and they should look like this. We're definitely going to look at that. We got another container here that was done right here. We got celery plants in this container, and over there where you kind of see Grace planting. Say hi to everyone.
Hi.
Grace there has her own container. I'm just going to zoom in. You're doing a really good job. Just angle it towards the camera there, Grace. So take a look at that, Grace. You're doing fantastic. So she's almost done that particular container. So that's it. So we're left with a big mess, aren't we?
Yeah.
We need to get handy with the broom and dustpan, don't we? So we're going to clean up the table, get our plants into their new spots. And I hope this really helped everybody. Once again, my books are at the end of the video, so check them out. Don't forget to comment. I love to hear from you. Otherwise, happy planting, and we'll see you on the next video.